Welcome to your Cyber Tips Explainer, where we make everyday people understand the cyber world around us. All right, today we're jumping into a story that honestly feels like it's ripped straight out of a Hollywood movie. I mean, you've got this shadowy group of state-sponsored hackers, a super clever digital sleight of hand, and yeah, the biggest crypto heist in history. It's a wild ride. $1.5 billion. Seriously, just let that number sink in for a second. We're not talking about a classic bank robbery with masks and getaway cars. Nope, this was a silent, digital crime of absolutely historic proportions, and it was pulled off with just chilling precision. So the question is, how on earth did this even happen? Well, let's trace the digital footprints and figure out the story behind the single biggest crypto theft the world has ever seen. You know, Coin Bureau really hit the nail on the head with this one. The treasure here wasn't physical, but believe me, it was just as real. These guys weren't hauling away gold bars. They were grabbing ERC20 tokens. If you're not familiar, those are basically digital assets built on the Ethereum blockchain. And this event, whoa, it sent absolute shockwaves through the entire crypto world. It raised some really urgent questions about security, about trust, and yeah, even about national security. This was a heist that completely changed the game. So, here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll set the scene of this massive heist. Then, we'll take a look at the shadowy group behind it. After that, we'll get into the billion-dollar magic trick itself, how they pulled it off. We'll cover the chaos that followed, what it means for everyone, and finally, how you can build up your own cyber defenses. Let's get into it. Okay, so let's set the scene. You know how every historic event, good or bad, always seems to start on a totally ordinary day? Well, this was no different. For the world's second largest crypto exchange, February 21st, 2025 was supposed to be just another Friday. So picture this. You're at Bybit's headquarters in Dubai. It's buzzing. Traders are glued to their screens, watching the market's every little twitch. The usual crypto chatters filling up the forums online. It was totally business as usual. But behind the curtain, the stage was quietly being set for an absolute disaster. Now, a crime of this size, this magnitude, it's not something just anyone can pull off. It takes a highly sophisticated criminal. And in the world of cybercrime, there are very few names that command as much fear and notoriety as the group everyone believes was behind this attack. Let me introduce you to the Lazarus Group. Yeah, the FBI, blockchain researchers, they've all pointed the finger directly at this collective. And get this, they allegedly work on behalf of the North Korean government. So these aren't just some rogue hackers in a basement. They're basically a tool of a nation-state. And trust me, they have a long and destructive history. And if you look at their track record, it shows this terrifying pattern of escalation. I mean, this was not their first rodeo. Far from it. Back in 2017, they're the ones who caused global chaos with the WannaCry ransomware attack. You probably remember that. Locking up computers in hospitals, government offices, you name it. Fast forward to 2023, and they've become masters of the crypto space, stealing over $300 million. And then, just months before this heist, they took down an entire Indian exchange for $235 million. It's like each attack was just a dress rehearsal, leading up to their biggest score yet, the $1.5 billion Bybit heist. This just goes to show you they are persistent, they are patient, and they are scarily effective. So, the billion-dollar question, literally, is how? How did they actually do it? How did they manage to bypass the defenses of a top-tier exchange, a place with a spotless security record? Well, the answer is fascinating. It wasn't about breaking down digital walls. It was all about tricking the people holding the keys. You say the first key to the vault wasn't a piece of code at all. It was a human vulnerability. The whole attack most likely kicked off with something called social engineering, and that's really just the art of psychological manipulation. It's like getting a fake email from your boss asking for a password, or someone calling you pretending to be from IT to get access. It's all about exploiting our natural instinct to trust people, and that's how they get their first foothold inside the system. Okay, so once they were inside, the hackers played a very patient game. They didn't go for the money right away. No. First, they infected a really critical piece of software, the user interface for Bybit's digital wallet. And then they just waited. They waited for a moment that happens every single day at an exchange like this, a big, routine transfer of funds. This is when they move money from a super secure offline cold wallet, you can think of that like a bank's main vault, to a more accessible warm wallet, which is what they use for daily transactions. And right at that perfect moment, they sprang their trap. This right here, This is the absolute core of the attack. It's what people are calling the UI switcheroo, and it's brilliant in a terrifying way. Imagine this. You're about to sign a check to move some money from your savings account over to your checking account. But at the very last second, a magician swaps the recipient's name on the check to his own. And it happens so fast your eyes don't even see it. That is exactly what the malicious code did here, but digitally. So get this. To the 3 authorized Bybit employees who had to sign off on this, everything on their screen looked completely normal. They saw a standard internal transfer, the kind of thing they probably approve dozens of times a week. But behind the scenes, that malicious code had changed the destination address. They thought they were just moving money from one corporate pocket to another. But in reality, they were signing off on the biggest crypto heist in history, sending $1.5 billion directly to the thieves. Unbelievable. The second that transaction was confirmed, 2 different clocks started ticking. You had one for Bybit, who were now scrambling to manage a full-blown crisis, and you had another for the Lazarus Group, who now had the tiny little problem of making a billion-dollar getaway. So as news of the hack started to break, you can imagine the panic that could have set in. And yeah, customers definitely reacted. They rushed to withdraw their funds, pulling a staggering $4 billion from the exchange in just 12 hours. But what happened next was, frankly, incredible. Bybit didn't collapse. It didn't even flinch. The exchange processed every single withdrawal. And while the technical systems were holding strong, the human leadership was maybe even more impressive. I mean, just hours after being robbed of over $1 billion, Bybit's CEO, Ben Zhou, was live on social media, calmly explaining the entire situation in multiple languages. This level of transparency and competence in the middle of a crisis was nothing short of a masterclass. They fulfilled every promise, they reassured their users, and by doing that, they very likely saved their entire company. Meanwhile, on the other side of this, the hackers were very, very busy. See, you can't just go cash out $1 billion in crypto. You have to launder it first. And one of their key techniques is something called cross-chain bridging. The easiest way to think about it is like this. They took all that stolen money, which was sitting on one big highway, the Ethereum blockchain, and they used all these complex interchanges to move it onto dozens of other smaller highways. They broke it up into tons of smaller pieces, all to make it nearly impossible to follow the money trail. And they used a whole suite of tools to cover their tracks. Things like decentralized exchanges, or DEXs, which are basically crypto trading platforms without a central company in charge. They also use crypto mixers, which act like digital laundromats. They just jumble up the stolen funds with a bunch of legitimate transactions until the original source is totally obscured. The hackers were literally running rings around law enforcement, using the very technology of crypto itself to disappear into the digital shadows. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Okay, this is a crazy story about one company and a bunch of stolen digital currency. But the implications of this heist, they go so much further than just the crypto industry. This is really a matter of global security. So let's ask the critical question here. Why does a hack like this actually matter to governments, or to you and me? I mean, what does a bunch of stolen Ethereum really have to do with geopolitics? It's a fair question. Well, the answer comes directly from the halls of power. In testimony before the U.S. Congress, a national security expert named Carol House made the connection crystal clear. She explained that when rogue nations, like North Korea, can steal billions of dollars like this, they can use that money to fund weapons programs, to evade international sanctions. This isn't just theft anymore. It becomes a direct threat to global stability. And really, what we're seeing play out here is a central conflict of our time. On one side, you have this powerful, innovative, and pretty much borderless world of decentralized finance. And on the other side, you have the established global order that relies on rules, on compliance, and security to function. The Bybit hack happened right at the collision point between these two massive worlds. And it's forcing a global conversation about how we can possibly regulate this new frontier without completely stifling all of its potential. Okay, we've talked about billion-dollar heists and national security, which can feel pretty abstract. So now let's bring it all the way home. Because the same principles that could have helped protect a massive exchange can also protect you. So let's get practical and build your personal defense plan. These next steps are absolutely for everyone, whether you have a lot of crypto or just a little. First, please use an app for your two-factor authentication, not text messages. Texts can actually be intercepted by sophisticated attackers. Second, get a password manager. Reusing passwords is like having one key for your house, your car, and your office safe. If a thief gets that one key, they have everything. Another really powerful tool is called whitelisting.
This lets you create a pre-approved list of addresses that your crypto can be sent to. So even if a hacker got into your account, they couldn't send your funds to their own address. And finally, you just gotta stay vigilant. Check your login activity, try to avoid using public Wi-Fi for transactions, and remember how this whole crazy heist started, right? With social engineering. Learning to spot those phishing emails is your first and honestly, your best line of defense.
Now look, if you're really serious about protecting your assets for the long term, this right here is the gold standard. It's called a hardware wallet. It's just a small physical device, kind of like a USB drive, that keeps your private keys completely offline. It's simple. A hacker can't steal what isn't connected to the internet. So if you're not actively trading your crypto, the absolute safest place for it is in a device just like this, locked away somewhere safe. When you boil it all down, the story of the Bybit hack is this huge cautionary tale. But its lesson is also deeply personal. Every single one of us, we build the walls of our own digital fortress every single day through our habits and just our general awareness. So after hearing all of this, you really have to ask yourself, are your gates wide open? If this explainer got you thinking even a little bit about your own security, we really hope you'll take a moment to think about how you can strengthen those walls. Subscribe to this channel, like and share this video with someone you deeply care about to have a foolproof cyber defense.